Now, I saw a video on social media. And I tell her, say, yo, the leadership of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica have a problem with God, brother. I'm not afraid for talk. The leadership of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica are go in a so serious problem with God. Them are go call down so serious destruction upon an island here named Jamaica. Remember me telling you that word today. I don't can laugh. Just like the people did laugh after Noah. You understand me? Until the flood came and the ark was shut. I saw now go laugh after the positive people or the people who want to know at the destruction who come to the island named Jamaica. Let me tell you something. I saw a video on the internet that talk about the Prime Minister. It like them have tried to push him to legalize Obia. And let me tell you something. Mr. Andrew Wellness, you are play with fire. You are play with fire. You get me? And this is not a disrespectful message. But take it as how you want to take it. But this is a warning. Let me tell you something, big man. And the people of Jamaica. You see, anytime when you legalize Obia upon an island here, you think you see disaster them want my Haiti. It a go worse upon Jamaica. Remember, you know attempt God with the homosexual business already, you know. You know attempt God with the Batmanism business already, you know. Want to legalize, you know. See? But let me tell you something. You see, anytime we don't legalize witchcraft on the island here, I done Jamaica done. Remember me telling you that this morning, Mr. Andrew only say, you want me to tell you? You that have an ear to hear, let them hear. Anytime we don't legalize Obia on this island called Jamaica, I want to make it free for everybody go do it. Remember me telling you, say God judgment and wrath. I go take this island. You don't think we see disaster yet? You don't think we see evil in Jamaica yet? Make them legalize it. Make them legalize it if you don't think we bad. See, the Bible tells us, say, suffer it not a witch to live. In the book of Samuel. Suffer it not a witch or a warlock to live. And you see, because Saul did allow the witch to live, you see destruction what happened to him. You see destruction what take him. Uno go on, man. Uno legalize it and feel good about yourself. Because uno self in our society, you know, in our secret society, in our ladger, in our Illuminati. So uno no care. That will be a feeding grounds. For uno, because I know about uno, you know. I know exactly what uno do. I know about the adrenochrome uno get. I know about the powers uno get as a result of uno sacrifices. I know about the witchcraft them uno will want push and the high level of sorcery. That's why the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness in high places. High places is politics. High places is when we meet now no feeding grounds, when no energy vampires, them on no witches and no warlocks. But let me tell you this, no power no higher than the power of the Most High. No matter what no one do, there's no enchantment against Jacob. Remember that a God create good and he create evil. You get me? So no power is higher than the power of the Most High. But let me tell you this. Anytime we legalize Wobia in this country, I want to see witchcraft as a norm. I want to take it as a norm and start do it even on a greater scale. Let me tell you something, man. I don't think we're going to see judgment yet. Some breed of disaster are going to take this land. You know, I go pray. For God hurry up and come. Someone who I go want analyze on yourself and can't do it. Remember me telling you, he that have an ear to hear, let them hear. The Bible says, necromancy is a sin. Don't speak to the dead. Neither shall you have any relation to the dead nor the spiritual world. I don't want to legalize Obia. Go and go do it. If you don't think you're bad, do it. Go and go do it. Me would have pushed you to do it. Go on. I don't go see what reach you know. When a politician feel like so too tough enough, too powerful, and more powerful than God. No, no, not powerful than God, my friend. So uno stay there, make the devil use you and abuse you and make you do all kind of evil on the island. I feel like so uno go get way. But let me tell you this. You see, for every time uno do something like this against God, uno making wrath grow even stronger. Uno making wrath grow stronger. And we all know what happens when God's wrath gets strong upon the land. Remember that. So, uno play with God. Go on and do it. Do what you want to do. And remember me tell you, uno I go sorry. Uno I go sorry. Not even for uno deathbed uno can't go repent. Uno I go sorry. Listen to my voice. I done talk.
On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype. We make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Saturday evening to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, you don't know how we do it over on this side. So we have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in a Jamaica. So watch your snow, my peeps. We're gonna kick it off with an update surrounding the fatal knockings and clappings of this young man said to be a teenager from Brayton in Portmore, St. Catherine. It is said that the police ran into a yard and was met with gunfire from this brother here presently on your screen. The police stated that the fire was returned and he was hit and basically ended up losing 3 pints. He was, however, taken to the hospital where he was officially pronounced you know what. The police also stated that they recovered a firearm from the scene. Now, as always, residents are refuting the claims of the police. They definitely used the breeze to block the roads, lit fire to the roads, and staged a fiery protest. Now, this was the photograph that was released first. But now we have another photograph, what is saying something totally different. I don't know what narrative were they trying to paint when they stated that is a little youth, a little boy, trying to paint a narrative like is a little school youth, we're totally innocent. Not saying that he's guilty of anything. But here's another picture that shows a different personality of the person. Not stating that smoking makes him a criminal either. But why try to put a younger, innocent looking picture out there to paint a narrative as if he's this innocent little schoolboy that was brutally murdered by the police? And I'm not saying for a long shot that he's a criminal element or anything of the sort. But On The Spot News Media will most definitely be digging deeper into it. Now we're going to hear from a family member who give his account of the fatal knockings and clappings of the young man. Now I have a video where I see the young man laying on his side in a yard with 3 other young men laying face down on the ground with their hands behind their heads, with a police officer standing over the body of the now deceased young man identified as Naheem. It is said that he was there bleeding out and the police did nothing to assist. Now we're going to hear from the family member as he weighs in on his cousin's fatal knockings and clappings. Now listen.
I believe said police kill my local family much long in the evening. And say my local family have gun. And my local local family never have no gun. They look at you all be a walk. And now have gun, brother. And police running in a yard. In a youth friend yard next door in yard. And shot a local youth to rotted. And I take out gun. I put on a local youth, brother. And people stand up and look and see. And then have a local youth on the ground. I bleed out.
Now the first thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is coming out of the Grand Cayman Islands, where this criminal element here, basically we say him a dancer, artist, but most definitely not among the smarties, known as Jamal. Ghana Cayman gonna seek work permit, same one perform in the people in country. Well, thank God the Cayman authorities, them smart enough, and he was denied a work permit to perform in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman police say, yo, we are watch everything we are going to Jamaica. We see say the police them lock you up for gang-related activities. So we don't want you, now your little waste dunceman argument type of thing in our country. You try keep that in yours. Yeah, man. So the criminal element masking as an entertainer whose real name is Tevil Dixon was scheduled to perform at an event Friday night, but had his work permit application rejected by immigration authorities. The decision comes months after Jamaican police detained Jamal Dunce in February on allegations of leading the Dunce gang in Barrytown, St. James. Now, for those who have been watching On The Spot News Media for a while, if I'm not wrong, On The Spot News Media would have been the first or one of the first YouTubers to actually bring a story to highlight the criminality that this old fart here try to perpetrate against the regular members of Chan Public in Montego Bay, St. James. Yeah, man. So we're glad say the Cayman authorities are looking and are watching and see everything we are going and deny this criminal element from performing in their country. Now, many are the ones them are going to disagree with me. And I say it's just an artist and I fit him art farm that. And him not necessarily in a badness. But when you have seen the stark proof presented in front of you still turn a blind eye to these monsters that are being created and masking themselves as artists. The only time you believe it, are when time either Uncle Sam say, yes, I saw it go, which is America, or see it for yourself in full view where you cannot deny says a criminal element for true. And even when you see it brawling in front of your face, as long as they sing one hit song, you sweep that right underneath the carpet. Yeah, man. But I'm going to play a video footage for you and show you so-called innocent youth. So this criminal element here known as Tevil Dixon, otherwise known as Jamal Dunce, is nothing but a regular old dirty kind of boy. Yeah, man. So listen.
Suck your mother, youth. Oh, dear youth. Come batty boy come for man live, youth. Are you youth? She don't even know I'm corp right now. I'm saying, anyone see around there, youth, I told. Anyway, pussy, watch us. Now show them something. Come batty boy. Me no friend. Me know no. Me know no. Anyway, man. Remember Dutch man tell her that, yeah? Pussy. Show them something. Stay in a group. Suck on the mother, stay in a group. Here. Stay in a group. Now show my fans of my lifestyle. I run, come send man friend because I come add man from bomb buckler. Hey boy, suck your mother.
So yes, my peeps, are the innocent Jamal Dunce that for you. Yeah, man. Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is that the Senate has approved a mandatory minimum sentence for the offense of murder. Yeah, man. So the Senate has passed legislation providing tough mandatory minimum penalties for those convicted of taking another person's life. So leader of opposition business in the upper house, we are talking about Kamina Johnson-Smith, says that the legislation is pivotal in safeguarding the most sacred of constitutional rights, and that's the right to life. So on Friday, the upper house concluded a lengthy and spirited debate on amendments of the Offences of the Persons Act, the Criminal Justice Administration Act, and the Child Care and Protection Act. So under the new legislation, the mandatory minimum penalty proposed for non-capital fatality is now 30 years, and the term of years to be deemed as life imprisonment will move from 30 years to 50 years where the offense is committed is a capital fatality. Yeah, man. So the bills are a direct result of extensive consultation through the Joint Select Committee process convened from as far back as 2023. So we're going to hear from the leader of government business, that's Kamina Johnson-Smith, as she weighs in on this new and latest legislation. Now listen.
So, Mr. President, the government takes very seriously our duty to protect the fundamental rights and freedoms of all Jamaicans. And I'm sure we agree, Mr. President, that prime among these fundamental rights enshrined in our Constitution are the rights to life, liberty, and security of the person, the right not to be deprived thereof. Of course, Mr. President, while the Constitution bestows this right on each person, the Constitution equally demands that the right is respected and upheld by every other person. So no person is to deny another person's right to life, liberty, and security of the person. And a person who deprives another of his or her life must face the most serious of consequences. There is nothing that has been raised that would not be addressed either by the appellate court, any concerns about the strength of the sentences, if there's a sentiment that they are improperly imposed, or the Plea Negotiations and Agreements Act, which is not excluded by any provision that is put before us today. So that accused persons who feel that they are in a position to share information, to help in the solution of crimes, including and to make the work of the prosecution a little clearer, clear the path for it, they are able to negotiate under the Plea Negotiations and Agreements Act.
So meanwhile, the opposition raised concerns over the imposition of a mandatory minimum penalty, despite not attempting to block the legislation. But opposition Senator that's Lambert Brown says that this interferes with judicial discretion. Sometimes when I hear the opposition oppose or say something against the amendments of certain laws to make them stronger, sometimes I'm really wondering if they're a part of our present day society. Our laws need to be amended to reflect our present day situation. If for some reason and Jamaica's crime situation come to a level where it can be tolerated somewhat, not saying that any level is good, but to a more acceptable standard, then of course certain laws can be repealed or relaxed. But as for now, we need to implement the strongest and most stringent penalties for acts of crime and violence. Yeah, man. So we're going to hear from Senator Lambert Brown. And then we're going to hear from leader of opposition business in the upper house. We are talking about Peter Bunting, who also voiced misgivings about the use of mandatory minimums. Then we're going to hear from Charles Sinclair, that's a government senator, in supporting the bill, says that the government will utilize the legislation to build on the success already reaped in combating the scourge of murders. So we definitely have to say that this administration, I mean, not talk politics, but they have done more to amend the laws and put certain things in place to combat crime than we have seen with any government in years. Yeah, man. And that is just the plain, undeniable truth. So we're going to hear from Lambert Brown, then we're going to hear from Peter Bunting, then we're going to hear from Charles Sinclair. Now listen.
I'm not a supporter of mandatory sentences because I believe circumstances alter cases. There are others who may be willing to support it, willing to give it a try. I'm not.
Far too often, it's the young men from marginalized communities, many first-time offenders, many coerced or manipulated, who find themselves serving lengthy prison terms under laws that make no distinction between a gang leader and a frightened, unemployed youth coerced to hold a bag or be a courier. Our judges, men and women with years of training and the benefit of hearing the full circumstances of each case, have their hands tied. They are unable to exercise discretion or show mercy where the facts and fairness would demand it. And so there is a risk of this approach of mandatory minimum sentences turning our justice system into a machine, mechanical, unforgiving, and blind to context.
As set out in the Memorandum of Objects and Reasons, this administration appreciates that crime, particularly murder, has an adverse impact on domestic safety and security, with reputational damage to Jamaica and the country's gross domestic product. Mr. President, positive results and improved statistics count for something. The travel advisory has been relaxed. So that is an improvement because of the improvements made by this administration.
When I hear what Peter Bunting just say, that the judges now have their hands tied because of the mandatory minimum sentence, that they can't exercise discretion on the perpetrators of crime, and that the justice system will become a well-oiled machine that is unforgivable. And to me, so what? Who use discretion when the grandmother and the grandpitney them lose them 3 points to criminal elements? Who was there to give discretion for the teacher and the taxi operator that was brutally gunned down in Montego Bay, St. James, just the other day? Who was there when young Kelsey Farragon lose fair 3 points to give discretion? Who was there when many other women and children and young men who have lost their lives to hands of criminal elements? Who gave them discretion? What about the victims? We are so concerned about the perpetrators of crime and just sweeping under the carpet the many lives that has been lost over the years. Again, I do ask this question. Are these politicians living in Jamaica? You know what I would love to see happen? That for a member of parliament to become a member of parliament, meaning the MPs for the communities, they would have to reside in the community or the area of which they are the member of parliament for. Can you imagine Andrew Holness have to live down a Waterhouse? Can you imagine that Angela Brown Burke have to live over Maxfield Avenue, or out a 2 mile out of Delacree Park or in a Pineland? Can you imagine Desmond McKenzie have to go back in a West Kingston go live? Just imagine these MPs living in the political garrisons that they are member of parliament for. You know how different these areas would have become because they are living there. So Peter Bunting, you're just in a opposition, so you just have to oppose. But everything that you say is utter rubbish. Yeah, man. Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is that the police hierarchy is now stating that they are confident that the fatality reduction will continue throughout the year. Now the Jamaica Constabulary Force has expressed confidence that the gains made in reducing the country's murder rate will be sustained by them. So we're going to hear from Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Joseph, who heads the Criminal Investigation Branch. He says he expects fewer than 700 fatalities to be recorded this year. And if that really takes place, I can tell you this, that would be a historical figure in Jamaica. And just so you know, praises will definitely be given to the Commissioner of Police, the hierarchy of the JCF, and also to the Andrew Holness-led administration, whether we like it or not. Yeah, man. So he is predicting the investments in the police force will yield even greater results in the coming year. And he is stating that it's going to go down below 500 next year if they continue on the same trajectory. So we're going to hear from Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Joseph as he weighs in. Now listen.
I expect to see the murder reduction going down to below 500 in short order. This year we expect to be under 700. And so both the operations, the intel and the investigations, we are working in tandem to create great results so that we can see better results in terms of our reduction. And I can tell you that it will be sustained because this what is happening, as the Commissioner said, it's not something that is aspirational. It is something that is happening right now. And the team that we have within the JCF now, the management team and the rank and file, I mean, they're all upbeat and everybody understands the goal. And so our goal is to have a safer society.
Now the last thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is coming out of the troubled, war-torn, crime-riddled St. Catherine North Police Division, where the St. Catherine North Police are presently investigating the gun slaying of a 20-year-old man in the parish on Friday night. Now the man in question has since been identified as Ricorior, otherwise known as Papa, said to be a delivery man of Quarry Hill in St. Catherine, and is presently on your screen. The police stated that sometime around 10:50 p.m., loud explosions were reportedly heard near Moore's home, and it is said that they heard cries of distress. So people hear a whole heap of bawling going over there. People are holla, a ball out, murder. Boy, may I tell my peeps, it's rough. So Moore was found inside his yard. And it is said that he was suffering from a portion of corner wounds all over the upper body and head. He was, however, assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital by his relatives, but wasting time because him lose him 3 pints right there upon the spot, but you don't know the family members, them are going to still try to see if them can save them loved one. Now, the Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is presently probing that particular fatal knockings and clappings. Why may I tell my peeps? The knockings and clappings continues. So just expect, say the police, them are going to move in at the Quarry Hill right now. And whosoever carry out that particular knockings and clappings, I figure get clap way. Yeah, man. And before I go, my peeps, I'm still in the St. Catherine North Police Division, but over there in the Top Banks community. You have a brother with them call Pung. We get to understand, say Pung is back in Top Banks. Well, Pung, if you don't want your head figure Pung Pang, would I suggest that you lift up out of Top Banks. You feel like say no more Dan can come out of that place there. I'm pretty sure you are very much aware of what had taken place with the last Dan from Top Banks. So go on, do your thing in the Top Banks and feel like say you're not going to play a tree very soon if you don't listen to what the Spot News Media say. So this is most definitely a warning before the canning. Top Banks residents and adjoining communities. Wanna hear how we want him? Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.